So, DMC is popular again, as it always should be. It's one of Capcom's most underrated, well, everything. And honestly, it started off, I found it in a discount bargain bin right after DMC 4 came out. So of course I go to my friend and I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of Devil May Cry? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. He's like, why, did you already play it? He's like, did you play it in the correct order? I'm like, there's a correct order to this? He's like, okay, so here's what you have to do. You have to play it in 3, 1, 4, 2. Okay, he made sure to clarify that. You have to play the third game first, then 1, then 4, then 2. And I thought that doesn't make any sense, Stevie. He's like, trust me, it will. So, I did just that. I played the games in that order. And 3 starts off as a prequel to when Dante first awakens his power and introduces Lady, who is a much better character in the game than she is in the anime. And then, following that up with 1, you go from where Virgil ends up fucking off to hell, getting corrupted and becoming the bad guy in the first game. Okay, so like that made sense to me. So like playing 3 and then 1 made sense to me. But then I didn't understand why he told me to play 4 rather than go to 2. And then I played 4. And I'm like, okay, finish this up, get Nero's character, get that storyline done. I'm like, okay, so why did he tell me to play 4 before 2? Then I played 2. And I'm like, you know what? This makes more sense, because this shows a Dante that doesn't have Lady, doesn't have Trish. Don't know what the hell he's gone through. And it just kind of makes sense for 2 to be the actual ending to the series over 4, where Dante is still Dante. He was fun, he was active, he was cracking jokes, and whereas 2 shows, I don't know, an older, grizzled Dante who might have saved the world one too many times before riding off into hell. And yeah, that makes sense. And then actually 5 kind of helps make this timeline more viable, because of the fact that when Dante is shown in the game, he is visibly older than any other time he's been shown in the series. Which, if I spent a whole lot of time in hell, I would probably look older too. So it makes sense to me that 5 is just a continuation after Devil May Cry 2. Because Dante looks much older than he does in any of the other games. Just like Virgil does. And like, yeah, there's going to be slowed aging and, well, time dilation through hell, no matter what mythology or game or mythos you look into. Hell is always depicted as moving, well, having a much faster time, and like 1 year here, 10 years there, sort of deal. So it makes sense that Virgil and Dante, after spending so much time in Malkai, would look visibly older by the time they come back. Which honestly kind of fits into what my friend told me in terms of the storyline. Going 3, 1, 4, 2. And then obviously 5 feels like the continuation of 2. Only Dante's come back, probably through the same portal to hell that Virgil opened. Before the whole Urizen thing. And genuinely, it just makes sense to me. And I'm like, God damn it, Stevie, this kind of makes sense, and I kind of hate you for it, because I'm sure a lot of people don't have the same kind of experience like this. But because I did, and I had an idiot who's like, you gotta play it in this order, I got what I think is a very different experience for the Devil May Cry story that everyone else does. Because I did not play it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not saying that I have the best order to play it in, but I do have one that creates a very compelling storyline in terms of Dante's story. Because at the same time, you gotta think Nero is... he might be adult. He's not much older than Dante was when he first started. Dante was like in his 20s, maybe? That sounds about right. When he starts the family business. And so when you look at it from that timeline, if you go to 3, where Dante starts out, gets his business started, meets Lady. You go to 1, Dante is an established demon hunter. He meets Trish, does a whole bunch of other crap, goes on, fights Mundus, and establishes and defeats Virgil in his Neo Angel form. And then you go to 4, where Dante is looking for the remnants of his brother and finds it in the broken Yamato that Nero picks out. Because, well, he's Virgil's son. So, of course, gotta keep that in the family. And then you go to 2, where Dante is older, a little wiser, a little more mature, not really up to his normal antics, because essentially he knows that, or he thinks, his brother's just gone now. Because he defeated him in 3, he lost him to hell in that one, defeated him in 1, he thinks he killed him in that one, and then in 2, he goes to hell at the end of the game. And instead of going back, he dragged off further into hell. Ideally, probably in looking for Virgil. So that by the time DMC 5 rolls around, Dante is visibly older and seems to not only have matured, but at the same time also gotten his older personality back, more joyous and happy. Probably because he found Virgil, or he found something of Virgil, and then they get out of hell, and that's where DMC 5 kind of starts. Is that Virgil's back, and Dante's back to his normal self, so he can go back to having his friends Lady and Trish around, who make compelling story elements, not gonna lie. And then the events of the game happen. You know, Nero finds out Virgil's his father. That Dante already knew that, though. You know, Lady and Trish get actually involved somewhat. And it's just a very nice ending to a series. I mean, obviously they're going to do DMC 6 with Nero as the main focus, but for Dante's story, it's a nice way to end it. Now, do I know what I'm talking about? Probably not. At this point, it's just kind of a headcanon that the order you should play the video games of the Devil May Cry series is in 3, 1, 4, 2. You don't have to do it that way, but if you do, you might find the same story that I did, which is going from Dante being young and ambitious to being a little more mature, to looking for his brother's legacy, to finding his brother, trying to find his brother in hell by the second game, and then returning back in the 5th one. I don't know. That might be what happens. But I think Matt Pat said it best. That's just a game theory.